Can you open it?
Query tool.
Yeah, under tools at the top, there is a query tool.
No.
That is also not opening.
Only these things will open. The one which are
Okay,
dark, I
yeah.
think.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second then. Okay, yeah, SQL is generating tools, query tool. Now we had to click on Postgres. Now you run those SQL statements over here. You have those SQL statements with you?
Yes.
From create table to select everything, check. And let me know if you face any error. I'm viewing your screen. Bring them into the next line. I think that once you've entered a command, right, you have to bring it into the next line. Like click over here and press enter. No, just hold on a second. Hold on a second. Primary key, S branch, S age, we can bring into the next line. Now, what you can do is you can select this thing, select this query, and click on play button. Is there a play button here? Yeah. Query ran successfully. Now you do the insertion. Enter line feeds, break this thing into multiple lines. Try to select this query. Then you can enter select. Break it into multiple lines. Break it into multiple lines. Not there. Yeah. You have to enter a semicolon at the end of student, and it won't run together. You have to enter one by one. You have to run them one by one. It is slightly different from your notebook environment, that you only get to run queries and you output one at a time instead of all at a time.
Okay.
Break it into multiple lines. Maybe 1 second, I'll help you. This thing, right? This thing can be after student course. There is
1 second.
parenthesis. There is parenthesis open.
1 second.
No. Hold on. You can break it into multiple lines because this is like what I was telling you. Clause. You have to understand that SQL query can be understood in the form of some clause, like you have create table, then you have columns and all that. Integer, foreign key, character. Constraint, table. The way to do that is that integer, you have to define it like this: references, student ID, customers, foreign key, references, student ID. Okay, 1 second. You have to do it like this. Like we are defining the primary key, right? At the end,
Yeah.
we have to define
Yes.
foreign key also like that. I am not able to select. 1 second. References. And you can give your this thing a name also. Constraint, primary key, and then comma, print fk1 or scfk1, scfk1, foreign key. Then foreign key is, what is your foreign key in this table? Okay, now I think stdid. stdid. It's not about case sensitive, I was wrong, but this query is about a slight change. We'll see if it works both ways or maybe not. That is not a very good way to write queries. So you have to create foreign key like this. Like I was telling you, this is a more generic way and it should work in with change in database. There will be changes in if you get to do assignments in Microsoft SQL Server, you would have to understand the syntax of Microsoft SQL Server.
Okay.
And if you get to do the assignment in what do we call it? This PostGRE, then you have to understand the syntax of PostGRE. So
Okay.
just because, but you have to understand the concept, and if then you can search for the syntax on the internet also. Now run this query. Yeah, getting it. We defined a constant. Just except one difference, that earlier we were not mentioning the while doing it for Microsoft SQL Server, we weren't defining the foreign key constraint, and with PostgreSQL we are defining the constraint name and everything.
Yeah.
So what you can do is 1 second. This is the way you have to write the queries, and you can continue.
Okay.
Most of the syntax is same. I think you are getting that.
Yes.
For basic queries are mostly the same, but there might be some changes later on. Like 1 second, I think the commit would work in Postgres. If we do it over here, select average sh. If you do, you would get average sh. It showed you. Did you see that avg over here gave you a fraction, while in Microsoft SQL Server it gave you a rounded integer?
Yes. So, which one is better?
Postgre is used by many companies because it's free and open source. So Microsoft SQL Server is also a good database. It's not that there is any problem, but it restricts you. And PG admin, you don't have to buy subscriptions for Microsoft SQL Server or anything. You can try the union query over here and see what it does. This query, union queries also, and I think it will give you some kind of different results. Four and three, no, it's the same thing. Okay. Shall we? I believe we are done with the select queries. We can continue with the assignment, or you want to
Okay.
like get all the queries here first?
I think we're not left with much, so just two more.
Okay. Semicolon. You have to enter semicolon at the end. Yeah. Okay. Now we can do the assignment. So where were we? Question number 4. Now you can bring out the assignment part on the left hand side so that you can minimize that. Yeah, okay. Now where were we? SID, S name from student, S name, SID, M. This for those who have at least one course registration. Now, who have at least one course
Yeah.
registration, how do we do that? If SID, S name, and number of courses registered. This is a query for nested queries. So what we will have to do, SID. So I'd show you something. Nested query is also a way, like, one second. SID, S name from student. Where SID in. Now, this is a way that at times we write nested queries. This is where the complications begin. Till now, we have been working with the single queries, right? Now, this is a kind of nested query. So before that, I'd show you something. Select how many records were there in our select count star from student. F5, I think it's F5. Okay. 10. Okay. But if we do that, who have at least one course registration, we would be able to see where SID in. STID was select STID from student course. Is that right? That is a table name.
Sorry?
Student course is a table name, right?
Yes.
And then we would select this thing and F5. CNO does not exist from student. CNO, okay. S name, SID, and then you would run this query. 6 queries are there. What does that mean? That there are at least, so essentially speaking, we have solved your problem. I think that we have got SID and S name, and we haven't got the number of courses registered for those. So we would have number of courses for those who have at least one course registration. So this is like a doubly nested. At least we have got SID and S name. This is a way that nested queries can be written. And what do you see over here? In operator. You can take a note of it. In.
What
So
is
what?
it?
In operator, right? Where SID in. You have seen equal to, greater than, less than, and like. Now over here in this query, you are seeing in. Right?
Okay.
In operator is there, and then you have select STID from student course. So what is it exactly doing? Can you think and explain to me? What do you understand from this query?
Mm,
You are getting SID and S name from student, right?
yes.
But if we remove the where clause, it will give you 10 feet, 10 rows.
Yeah.
Now, what is it that we have written in where clause? That SID should be one of the values from stdid that we are bringing from student course. Now, this looks simple in the way I'm talking about it. Like, I only want SID of student who have registered for a course, and those STIDs can be found in the student course table. The way to write this query is through nested queries, and that nested queries, this is a nested query, outer query and inner query. You have this concept of outer query and inner query. You can route.
Outer and inner.
Sorry.
So basically, what I've understood is that if I look into the table names, so SID and S name was in student table.
Yes.
Okay, so first we pick the student SID and S name from student.
Mm-hmm.
And then we needed the number of courses. But since the courses were
We will
not
get
there,
that. We will get that. Right now, we have written a simple, basic query that we needed to understand. We would write that. We would write that in a bit. But you are correct till now that SID and SNAME are coming from student, and we are only getting those SIDs which match with the STD IDs present in student course. Getting it or not?
but all the STD ID will be same as SID.
Yes, that is the condition we have written in where clause. And this,
But what about the courses? At least one course.
yes, yes. But that is this is a proof that all of these student IDs of all of these students are present in this uh, student course table. So these students have at least one course. Now the number of courses, right? Number of
Yeah.
courses. Then we
But
would
if you
write,
want to have,
yeah, yeah, we would write this. Uh, doubly nested query. It will be nested query, but sort of this select count star from who have at least one course registration. S name and student. Okay, select count star from student course group by SID, STID, and then give we will give it a alias CNT, and then we will also get SID. This query you were able to understand? I am just checking with you. This will be used in a while. SID is over here and S count is over here. One of the student has taken 4 courses. So these two queries are clear to you, I hope.
okay.
Then we would get,
Yes.
yeah, then we would write this query. Select SID, a.SID. You remember about joins? A,
Mm,
a, a dot s name. You remember about joins, right?
Yeah. But we just did inner join.
Yeah, we just did inner join. So from A, this is the way, 1 second. Then we would write from A. So we are joining. What does select query return? Select query returns you a table. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yes.
And then if select query returns you a table, can we use that in from clause?
What if select query?
If select query returns a table, can we use the select query in from clause?
Let
Yes, yes. The answer is yes, we can use it. Now, this query is a modification of what? This is the solution to your problem. I'd explain a bit about inner queries. You just have got an idea of what inner queries is like. Select SID and SNAME from student. Okay, this is simple. Then you have where clause, where SID is in select STDID from student course. This was also simple. This is also select STID from student course is also simple. Inner query is understood.
yeah.
Now, the only modification is that we have brought the concept of inner query, outer query. And what we have done is that we have wrapped select SID SNAME from student around select STID from student course using the in clause under the where clause. Where SID in this. So it was giving you SNAME and SID of all the students who had at least one course registration, but we did not have the count as you're seeing over here. So you said bring the count. Then we said, okay, let us figure out if we can count what is the number of courses that a student has taken. So that is through this group by query. Select count star as CNT STID from student course group by STID. Is this query clear?
Yes.
So if this query is clear, we would see the output for it. And this is the output for it. Count one of the student has taken 4 courses, 1036 has taken 3 courses, 1027 has taken 2 courses, 1001 has taken 2 courses. Then we think, how can we utilize this query and use this query together? So we have wrapped this query, we use this query as the inner query, and we have this outer query. So outer query and inner query is fine. So this is like nested. This is like a join. You can use queries as tables in the from clause. This is a kind of a new concept to you. What we are doing over here is that whatever result this result you are seeing over here in the output, this is a table
Yeah.
11036. We have used this result set and joined it with student table,
Okay.
comma A and B are like aliases for the tables. Getting it?
Okay.
Student table, we have named it as A variable, kind of variable, placeholder for
Okay.
student table. And this query, this table, intermediate table or view or report, we have called it B. Your output is showing your B, this, right?
Okay.
Then when we join
Yeah.
A and B, then when we join A and B over what? Over SID and STDID. STDID we are getting from B. STID we are getting from B.
From student course.
Yeah. So we have,
Student course.
yes. So we have mentioned that we want the two tables to be joined on SID and STID. So it is joined to two tables,
Yes.
and then we select. What do we select? We select SID from A, we select SNAME from A, and we select CNT from B.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of, then we run this query, we see what it gives us. And this is the output.
Okay.
Your question 4 is done.
Okay. So, okay, so we have given variable name also to the tables. And what if we don't, what if we write this way? I want to try one more way.
Yeah. Student codes does not have S name. This will be B only. Student course does not have CNT. No, hold on. Student course does not have any column named CNT. Neither does student have. Neither student nor student course have CNT as a column. So you have to remove that. It is B. What have you done? No, this won't work. This won't work. CNT is not in the student table, no? You don't have any column CNT in student table.
But we are,
Okay, I'll show you one more way using the inner query for just for the sake of completeness.
where is
Just this.
CNT then? CNT is where,
No, CNT is not there in student table. 1 second. For the sake of completeness, I'll show you using inner query as well.
where is
Select
CNT?
select star from student, and then if we run this thing, do we have CNT column?
No.
CNT is a intermediate field alias that we have written in the report B. B is a report. This query is giving that report. B is a report. We are joining the table student with a report B, and then we are
Okay,
getting the
so if
result.
I write here, 1 second.
No, this won't work. You have a student.cnt in the student.cnt does not exist. That is what I'm trying to tell you. This is supposed to be from report B. Report B has CNT. Getting it?
Okay.
Now, if you try to run it, then you might get the output. Yeah. And you can, this is one way. I'll show you how to do it and using inner query as well. Or you can write it. You want to give it a try?
No, you.
Yeah, just a second. So we have this inner join and then B, and then instead of where we would write on, and then this becomes our answer for question 4 using inner join. Successfully ran. So this is essentially giving you the same result. So you have just seen 3 ways of writing the same, getting the same report.
Okay.
Now you want to try the 5th question, or maybe 6th you can try. 6th is easy. Course CID and name for courses registered by all students from EEE. This is uh, queries are like set operations. You must have heard relational data, join, union. These are set operations that if you have thorough, if you're familiar with sets of mathematics,
Yeah.
then You should be able to understand what union does, what inner join does, what outer join does. Or I had asked you to go through all of those keywords from the link yesterday. If you will go through them, you would build a fairly solid ground to take on these questions. Shall we try sixth or shall we try fifth now?
I can try sixth.
Yeah, try sixth question. Get CID and name of courses registered by all students from EEE. So what is CID? Where is CID coming from?
Course.
Course table, yeah. So you do CID, course table as name also?
No.
I think it has. Course table should have name of course, right? That is the table where
Yes, yes.
CID is not supposed to come in parentheses. Neither does CNAME. From course, yeah. But we want what do we want? Name of courses registered by all students from. So where is the data stored about course registration? Which table has the data about information about student course table? One second. Student table also has it or not? What is values? OS course names is there, registered by all students. No. This is not a. This won't work. This won't work. Hold on. Okay. So can you explain why it didn't work? It will still not work. It is not giving you results. Do you know why? Because you don't have EEE as a course. EEE is a branch, S branch. And in which table? Student table. You have not referenced student table anywhere. S branch. So along with course, you have to put a comma after course. Break these clauses, from clause, where clause, into separate lines first. From clause into separate line. From clause in separate line. No, not over here. Remove this from clause above, right? From clause is above. Yeah. From course, comma, student. Student has the branch, right? S branch, course, comma, student. You would write course, comma, student, because you have to join two tables. Now CID, CNAME would come from course. Understood? Wait a second. CID and CNAME would come from course. You getting that?
Yes.
We have joined two tables, course and student.
1 second.
Course name, course ID. Okay. Shall we close for today?
Yeah, we can do this.